Welcome back to another episode of YA at Heart. We have with us again today our honorary co-host, Bad and Bookie, aka Steph. Welcome back.
What's up?
Also, I'm sorry, you guys, if I sound a little snotty. I swear to God, every single day that we're gonna fucking record, my allergies act up. My nose is leaking more than Cassian into Nesta right now. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
What an analogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. You guys, please be sure to follow us on social media at YA at Heart Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok, and at Bad and Bookie on Instagram and on YouTube. Oh, and check out our YouTube page. Also at YA at Heart Podcast. And also follow us on Twitter at YA at Heart Pod. Anywho, today we are covering chapters 5 through 10, right? 5 through 10?
6 through 10.
6 through 10. Thank you.
Yes.
Lexi's doing a really good job. I'm invested. Now, granted, this bitch has had a few hiccups. So it's like, what is you doing? But other than that, I kind of like her.
I really like how fast paced it's going.
Yeah.
And I expected certain things to take a little longer to get to. And things are hitting me left and right. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay.
But not only that, she's doing it with clarity.
Yes, thank you.
That's something that we were just talking about with another trilogy, Kingdom of the Wicked. You know, it's okay to have a cliffhanger at the end of the book, but throughout the entire book, you're asking all these questions. You could easily lose interest, tired of hunting for details. So she's doing a really good job moving it along, but also giving you what you want.
True, and also keeping certain things close to the vest. There are things that even me and Morgan questioned in the first 5 chapters. And she's giving just a little bit, but at the same time, enough where I'm like, okay, here's another piece to that puzzle. And I'm still interested. And let's keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So let's go ahead and get into it, starting with chapter 6. This is, I believe, right after bitch falls through the portal
onto the sheets
onto the
black bed.
I hope to God they changed them sheets between King Obi-Wan and Sunny D, because let me tell you something.
Yo,
the stuff you be thinking about.
That's the first thing I thought about, ooh. But they end up taking her directly to King Morbius. And something interesting really happens on page 80, where I think it's actually Brie's power, where she blocks out the room with shadows and darkness, but she thinks it's him. So I'm like, okay, this bitch has powers and doesn't even realize it.
But they manifested in the earlier chapter, and this girl is in denial. She's like, oh,
it's deep
the
with
fairy realm provides powers to humans and stuff. And it isn't until we get a little further down in these chapters that it turns out that that's just not the case.
At that point, I was like, all right, girl, you're giving me Feyre vibes right now.
I thought the exact same thing when I read that. I was like, damn.
Like,
oh, here we go again with the ACOTAR comparisons. We've only been talking for 5 minutes.
Bruh, listen, it's always going to be comparison. We already talked about that.
But truthfully, though, I really think that that's an element of her trauma.
Yeah.
I feel like, with everything that happened with her mother and the fire, I feel like maybe she developed, some, low self-esteem and feeling not deserved.
Yeah.
And in that world, power is something that is a privilege. So
yeah.
I think that is an element of the author's trying to show how that trauma has affected her mindset.
Yeah, so we move on. She wasn't kidnapped, but tricked into meeting with this guy.
He was waiting for her.
Yeah, he was waiting for her ass because he wanted to give her a mission. And first of all, my first thought was how do you even know who this chick is?
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't go into detail as to how he knows who she is, but he's like, "Oh, you're a well-known thief. You're I'm like, you can't be a thief and be well-known. What's
Bro, yeah, exactly. That's what thieves work under the cover of night.
Explain.
The only thing that I can think of when he said that was goblins. They said that goblins are used for information.
Oh, yeah.
And the goblin did warn her about her abilities and the reasoning that she's being lured, that it's not meant for her to find her sister, but she should be more worried about protecting herself. So I really think that goblins play a part in that. I don't know how, but that's my theory.
Okay,
That
so
makes sense.
side note, because I forgot all about that, Dobie telling her that it's not meant for you to find her sister. So do you think that her sister is like going to die
Oh my
by
God.
the end of this?
I hope
But-
not.
I'm sorry, that's
That
always my
was-
first thought. Who's gonna die?
But like that was the
That ass.
But like that was his, like she thought of that though.
Yeah.
Like as he's talking to her, she's like, well, I want to see she basically tells him, I want to see proof of life.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see my sister before I commit to any type of mission. And he refused. And like, when they say like Douth protest too much, like you're like, he's like refusing. I was like, okay, what? Come on. Like you're this all powerful king. You can't tell me you can't like come up with some type of portal, some type of seeing something so that she could at least see that her sister's alive.
That's suspicious, right?
Yes.
So yeah, either he already has her like working or he sold her off to another person like in the shadow realm or whatever, the moon court, I think they call it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Jazz if we ever do see her again.
Right.
Morbius also puts her in some type of like holding cell.
Oh my God, what the fuck was this?
I don't know. It was
This
like
was like a feverish dream. It was like really crazy.
yes, it was a fever dream, but some things were revealed in this fever dream, and that's actually a recurring theme in the 5 chapters that we read. And whenever she goes under, more of her like past is like revealed little by little.
It's her subconscious almost opening up. Like
Yes.
she suppressed it so much
Mhm.
and blocked it out due to, I'm assuming, the trauma of her childhood.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was interesting that the information was revealed that way.
Yeah. But I like that it was because it's not just like people coming to her and being like, oh, you didn't know that you were this and you were that and that you had magic powers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I like the subconscious being revealed.
That reminds me of something that happened in another series from Blood and Ash in later books, but it is a thing. When you
a lot of us haven't gotten there yet. Wait a minute.
I'm
By a
I'm
lot,
not-
I just mean
not
me.
gonna go into it. But to say, I think it's an element of magic that she has. But we didn't even get into what Morbius asked of her
Oh yeah. Yeah.
before she got into the dungeon.
Bro. Yeah, he's basically like, I need you to find, what did he say? I need you to find relics for me.
Artifacts.
He basically tells her, listen, my mission is I need you to go to the Sealy court and to keep the prince's trust and find these artifacts that the queen has kept in her possession that technically belong to the unsealy court.
I do want to mention while she's under, she remembers the story about the shadow princess. Supposedly,
Yo, I like said that was like,
So who's supposedly going to, I think it was bring the moon court or whatever, the night, not the night court. God
Mhm.
damn it. The court of the moon back together. I'm fucking mixing stories up here. So I was like, oh, that's you, ain't it?
that's exactly what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
And that is an element that the Wrath of the Dawn actually did too with storytelling, is bring
Yes.
elements of storytelling to life to kind of help you foreshadow. And so I think it's cool when they weave that into there so seamlessly.
Yes.
yeah,
She also sees the silver-eyed dude again.
I love him. I don't even know who he is yet, but I love him.
I was like, bro, how are you infiltrating my dreams? What if I was butt-ass naked in here? Like, privacy.
But it's the fact being that she had dreamt of her and her little sister before he showed up, and Jazz was like, the prince will help you find me.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yeah. So I was like, okay,
What?
wait. What's going on?
Yes.
When it fast forwards and he's like, he shows up and he's like, come find me. I will help you find her. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh.
He's
He's a bit of a bad boy.
he is. We love
Yes.
our dark
I like
hair
I like it.
MC.
Picasso.
Yeah. So we fast forward. She does agree to help King Morbius. And that leads into what is it? Chapter 7.
Before it leads into chapter 7, he did tell her, because she was hung up on finding her sister, he said, once you find the mirror, because it's a mirror he told her to find, it will help you see her. You can ask it to see anything, and it will help you. So I'm wondering,
That's
he doesn't have that mirror. How does he knows all these things? Only thing I can still think of is goblins. That's the only thing I can still think of.
Yeah.
Dobby out here spilling all the tea to everybody. He just running around. Hey, yo, did you hear this? Hey, yo, did you hear this?
But
Unless
there's
he
not one
has
Dobby.
mental-
There's multiple Dobbies.
Unless he has mental capabilities.
I know. It's a network. They all talk to each other.
Not a network.
Okay, so from there, we move on to chapter 7. His goblin transports her to the Seelie Queen's court. She gets there, and she immediately runs into Sebastian.
Ashley.
And I was like, the moment I got to this page, I was like, this is it! This is it!
Bro, as soon as he was like, Brie, I was like, Ashley was fucking right.
I was so excited to read this chapter.
I was like, I don't know how she fucking spotted that. I don't know how she spotted that from a mile away, but this bitch was right.
No, because I was like, as I was reading, I'm like looking at the cover. I'm like, this is no. And the more just the little bit that we read, I was like,
My attention skipped over him because I was like, oh, blonde-haired, male interest.
Tamlin.
No, thank you. No, not even Tamlin, just blonde-haired.
Her blonde hair, blue eyes.
I just heard blonde hair, bluish green eyes. Skip. Alexa, play the next song.
Oh, man.
But she's also in denial in this chapter too.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
your
like-
glamour is flawless. I was
you
like,
kidding
when
me?
she said that, I was like, that's not a fucking glamour.
Right, like, bitch, them real.
But is
Listen,
for real.
I'm a scarred reader, man. I can know when these things are coming. I'm traumatized. I was like, nope, that's not a glamour.
In the Notre Dame, or the Hunchback of Notre Dame, where he gets on stage, you're like, oh, your mask is so real. And they pull his face, and they're like, oh, shit.
That's basically what happened here, guys. That's what happened here.
Bruh, but it's like, because she's in such denial and she feels so betrayed by him, she runs off. And I was like, oh, that's smart. That's so smart. Especially after he just told you that the amulet only protects you in the Seelie
In this room.
court.
Now, that was definitely very Feyre.
Yes.
Because she
Bitch.
did do that.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
did do that in the spring court. So, I mean,
She did.
I was like, well, this is interesting.
But the even more interesting part is that it's Preetha from the fucking ball. And she's
Correct.
with some other really tall red-eyed dude, and they knock her out and snatch her up.
When we come to chapter 8, Preetha did basically what Sebastian did. And she glamored herself to look human, but she's actually Fae. And then the big guy that was carrying Brie, his name's Kane.
He looks like Dionysus.
Basically, they took her to a brothel.
Yeah.
No, they took her to a strip club.
They took her to
a strip club.
It was
because there was
both.
poles. They said there was poles.
It was both. It was a strip club in the front, and then you can go to a brothel in the back. That's what the fuck it was.
It was a one-stop shop.
They do everything.
Wax on, wax off. Everybody gets their happy ending here.
Oh my god.
But what's his name ends up being there? The same gray-eyed, handsome man. And we do learn, like I said, thank you, I'll take my crown. He's fucking Finn. He is fucking Finn.
It was
Not fucking
so
Finn, but he
good.
is Finn.
But it was so great to read that because I was like, bet.
Yup.
I was like, bet.
We got a name. We officially have a name. He
Yeah.
pulled, it's exactly like you said, he pulled a Hawk Castiel thing.
Yeah.
He was,
like
and they
he
met
seemed-
for the well, not the first time, but they met officially in the brothel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought when I read that scene was love triangle.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Especially because we know that she does have feelings for Sebastian.
Yeah.
But there's just something that's very attracting and appealing about Finn.
It's the mystery in the dark hair. What do you mean?
And it's not like he's an asshole either. Does give me Reese vibes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So basically, Preetha is working for Finn, and Kane is also working for him, and he just goes into this whole thing about how he knows what King Morbius wants her to do, and basically he's like, yeah, I want you to do that too.
Right.
He admits that he is King Morbius's nephew, and basically the rightful heir.
He questions her about herself and he's like, who gave you your powers? And she's like, the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Okay, this is where I was like intrigued though, because the way he explained it was mortals aren't born with magic.
Right.
They're given magic. And immediately she's like, oh no, that's not true. Witches and mages. And he's like, no, those, they use magic. They have to have spells and potions and things like that for it to work. But mortals are never born with magic. It is given to them by a fairy or somebody who uses it. Somebody who has the ability to give it.
Didn't it say that her mother ran off with a fairy or a fae?
It did, but it never explained.
That could be her father. That could be her father.
Wait, but
we said this.
But even more than that, even if it's not her father, later in, I think this chapter? Yeah, later in this chapter when she's going in and out of consciousness and she remembers her mom making a deal with a fairy.
Yeah.
With somebody. That could be the fairy. And the fairy was like, in exchange to heal her, you have to come with me.
That could have been it.
So do you think in healing her, she had to give her powers?
No. I think the fairy that she made the deal, that the mom made the deal with was like, I'll heal your daughter, but you got to come and be my boo thing or be my little human slave or whatever. Like back in the Feyland.
Yeah.
So you'll never see them again, but at least you'll know they're safe.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes so much sense. And that kind of redeems the mom because before we like sat there, we're like, this piece of shit, she just left her 2 daughters and like.
Right. It was like a flowers in the attic situation. I was like, bro.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. That was a good comparison.
I really like that movie.
Yeah.
Sad, but like.
Yo, it's really sad.
No,
Hello, John.
it was a good movie. Yes.
But it was good.
Sad. It was so sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's being difficult because obviously she doesn't trust this guy, which I understand.
Yeah.
But you don't have a whole lot of options right now. And if he's saying that he's going to help you get these objects and help you find your sister, like he's saying, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to help you right now. And Bash is like, oh, just give me time. Give me time. Like, who are you honestly going to choose?
He also offers to help her with her abilities.
Yeah.
Preetha basically says, like, she's like, I don't think she has control over her abilities. And she's like, and she definitely doesn't have control over her emotions. He offers to teach her how to be able to control her abilities too. At this point, I would have sat there, I would be like, all right, but teach when? When can we learn? When can we get this going? Like,
right. And he's not even, he's not even asking her to make a deal with him. He's just saying,
no,
I can do this for you. I can help you. Like, no strings attached, bro. Because he just wants his fucking kingdom. And by helping you, he's helping himself.
Didn't he travel in her dreams when she's locked up?
Yeah.
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 And you remember how like Reese already knew who Feyre was and just followed her voice? Like he already knew things. Yeah. And that's why he wanted to help her, because he already knew that was his mate. I'm wondering if that's a spoiler. I'm so sorry.
God damn it.
We gotta put like a warning. But I'm wondering if this is similar.
It'd be one hell of a spoiler because she's on the cover in the second book with Sebastian. So
okay, but talking about that type of bond, there is something that he mentions in here that had me like, wait, this is also another piece of the puzzle. He talks about if she's bonded with anybody.
Oh,
he does. He mentions it.
Shit, Steph is spot on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't even catch that.
That's that crown.
All right, bitch.
So maybe he does have like telepathic something going on too.
So Brie ends up using her powers to escape right into a fucking rose bush or whatever with thorns. And then out of the corner of her eye, she sees this big fucking almost Craven looking ass thing stalking towards her, and she has now become prey. And I'm like, this is the second time in, the last 2 chapters that you have made a very rash decision to run away into the dark, not knowing where the fuck you're going and not knowing what the fuck is out there.
But I like the fact that after she makes the rash decision is when she goes back and she thinks about it. She's like, you know what? I really shouldn't have ran away. I really should have stayed where
But by then it was too late. By then it was too late. You know the part that I liked where Preetha was freaking out and Finn was just like, let her go.
Oh my God. Yes.
I was like, hey, yo, you're not going to go after her, cut?
No, not today.
He's like, no, I'm not chasing her.
But I knew he wouldn't, though. I knew he wouldn't because he was so chill. Like, I didn't see him coming out of character in that moment. I saw him being like, all right.
I'm like, all right, cool. You want to go? Bounce. I don't know where the fuck.
Like, I offered you help. Clearly, you need me.
Appealing.
What's that toxic shit, man?
It's the toxicity.
Oh, the level of toxic traits, 100.
But isn't this like the perfect love triangle though? Like one bad boy, one good one. They're both good. Like you be straight if whichever one you got with, you be fine.
This is
you
true.
have a good guy.
But would you be 100% happy?
No, fuck no. I need a little bit of that darkness. Just a little bit.
Oh shit. So this this leads us into chapter 9, and of course she decides she's gonna run away from this creature in a fucking ball gown.
It's just bad decision after bad decision after bad decision right here.
Bruh, the description of her like making the plan and reaching for the branch and then going, oh, and falling on her back, I was like, you dummy. And of course, the fucking wolf tears into her leg like a goddamn drumstick. And
she done fucked up.
It was. But yeah, 2 wolves, I want to point out, come and they like fuck up the big wolf. Yeah. And it's weird because she's like, it's almost like they're protecting her and then they get called back and they leave. So I'm like, is that Preetha and Cain?
That's what I was thinking.
Y'all thought of that? No, wait. Because, hold on. Because in one of the chapters, I think it's in chapter 10, where Sebastian mentions to her that the fairies have familiars.
Yeah.
And they bond with the fairy or whatever. What if those 2 wolves weren't Preetha and Cain, but what if they were familiars for Finn?
Oh, that would make sense.
What if him not leaving physically, he sent the wolves out to help her?
Yeah, just to be like, keep an eye on her and shit.
Yes, exactly.
That would make sense. That would make a lot more sense than, Preetha and Cain fucking shape-shifting out this bitch.
I mean, they can be shapeshifters, though.
They can. Sure. They can, but I'm assuming that, the familiar thing would probably be or make more sense. So basically that leads into Sebastian's fucking hero moment where he's like,
oh my God, I didn't like this.
I should have never let you run off. I should have came after you directly. Oh my God, I can't believe what's happened to you. I'm going to take you back to the castle and let my healers work on you. Stay with me, Brie. Tomato!
You know how you always told me that, like, you didn't like the lovey-dovey romantic whatever crap?
Yeah.
Right? That's what we're given here, this whole section. And I was like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. Like,
yes!
I was like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this.
Yes, because even after she's healed, he like stays by her side and then he's like, I bought you flowers because they remind me of your hair. And I'm just so sorry that I feel like I betrayed you and I failed you. I'm like, oh, I need some tension.
This is a PSA for, this is how you know when you got a toxic
for love.
When you got a toxic
flags are horrible.
When the green flags are actually red flags.
This is not
this. Y'all need therapy. She's like
he cares too fucking much. What is this? Flowers by my bed table.
Hit me.
Change me into a fresh nightgown. Put me in your bed. Get out of here.
Give me the nicest servants. Like, oh my God.
Right. Like, nah.
They want that Jackson 5 kind of love.
We would rather be in the brothel / strip club with Finn.
Yeah, with Finn. With Castiel. With Kieran. Like,
that's all I'm saying.
Getting lit.
I do want to say, what was it? On page, is it 123? Oh, on page 123, where she goes in and out of consciousness again. That's the story that we get about her mom making the deal to save her.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to be the next 5 chapters, but at least by the end of the book, we're going to find out who that fairy is that she made the deal with. And maybe her mom is still alive.
That would be really interesting. I would be interested if that was like the case. If her mom's actually still alive and maybe she was taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a different like time continuum between the realms, because every time she asks a question about what time of day it is, it's already the next day. So it's very possible that there is a time continuum between different worlds where they're kind of like parallel on the same plane, but like different.
Yeah.
So she could still be alive even though it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be, I would like that if she didn't get Jazz, but got her mom instead. Oh, so much healing.
And her mom not even realizing how much time has passed because she didn't. And she's only been there for a little bit amount of time and she hasn't realized how much time's passed.
Right. Instead of 10 years, she thinks it's been like maybe 3 months.
Correct.
That'd be fucking wild.
Because she's already saying that about finding her sister. She's like, oh my God, I've already been here. I'm wasting all this time. She's not even. So I'm wondering if that's that too.
That'd be honestly pretty. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, she wants to stay in the castle because, of course, she has to do this thing for King Morbius. And Sebastian is like, if you want to stay, you pretty much have to like pretend that you want to marry me. Oh gosh, this is so embarrassing. I know. Like, oh, shut up. God damn.
You know, he secretly likes it. He secretly likes it.
He's like, you know what? I know.
Oh my God, is he Tamlin?
Wait, what'd you say?
Is he?
Is he Tamlin? He got Tamlitis?
Oh, he's got
no. I hope not. It doesn't seem like he has it yet, but he's just like...
No, he has Tamlin tendencies.
Yes.
Because at one point...
Symptoms. He has symptoms of Tamlitis.
Because at one point he tells her that she needs to take a step back and not look for her sister and let him look for her sister.
That is true. Yeah.
Very familiar.
Very familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he doesn't...
That's the first step.
That's also a note that I put in there. I'm like, you know who she is. How can you ask her to do something like that?
Like he was out there in the mortal realm with her. So he knew exactly what she was doing and how she was getting by. And now you're telling her to sit back and put her entire trust in you to find her only person, her last person.
Not only that, he admitted to knowing, he knew, if you remember, she got, her sister was sold because it's over a year that they've been late on their rent and all that. So he could have helped her a long time ago, and he chose not to for the simple fact that it didn't benefit him because he didn't want to take the throne or choose a wife.
Also, that behavior, all of that, knowing all of that is very suspicious, especially when he's like, don't tell, anybody or my mom that we knew each other in the mortal realm just because, she might look at you differently. No, it's because your ass was out there doing something, like maybe trying to find Brie, and maybe you were supposed to, I don't know, her.
But you know what else was really telling? Remember when she first met Finn and he looked at her scar? What was the first thing Sebastian did? He covered it.
He covered it.
Glamored it.
Because he didn't want his mom to see it. Because she is a
What's
threat.
What's so fucking important about this damn scar?
I'm telling you, because she is a threat to the Sealy court. Remember, she's I have no doubt she's the Princess of Shadows. She's supposed to go back to the Moon Court or whatever and help them get their power back or whatever. But the Sealy court doesn't want that to happen, which is why they still have their fucking relics, which is why King Morbius wants her to fucking go and tear that shit up.
She's being used.
She's being used. Yes. Like Sebastian, I'm telling you, his goal.
Her powers, whatever her powers are bigger than what they have, and they need her.
Yes.
To either get her on their side or kill her.
Yeah, and that's probably what Sebastian's goal was, to go in, infiltrate the human lands, find her, unalive her, but he fell in love with her.
That makes sense.
I was like, oh, you wicked bitch. I'm on to you.
You think you nice. I'm telling you.
You think you nice.
It's Tamitis. It's Tamlin tendencies. It's Tamlin symptoms. It's giving me Tamlin stuff.
All right. Tamitis it is.
Yeah. I agree. I was also confused because I don't understand. Like, she's not supposed to tell anybody in the Sealy court about this deal. I get that. However, you keep referencing this silver fucking bracelet on your wrist, which you can use to get information from your goblin friend. Why can't you break one of those strands and be like, hey, is there any way around this deal where I can tell him what's going on so I can be honest, so I don't have to lie to him? I do get now that I said that, she feels like he lied to her, so she's probably not going to tell him. Never mind, I worked it out.
But she did mention it. She did say, I want to use my bracelet, but at the same time, I don't want to run out of threads too soon.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
We don't know how many threads are on the bracelet. She does.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. It might not be a lot of threads. Okay.
Right. So I think she wants to try to use it as like, be smart about when and where she uses the threads.
That makes sense.
She has no choice.
Then I'll stop like raging on her. Because when I was reading, I was like, bitch, use a fucking thread. What's wrong with you? So that's basically
lifeline. Use it.
Right. That's basically the end of chapter 9. And it leads us into chapter 10.
She's getting pampered.
Bro, yes, by her nice servants, the twins. Kind of giving me like a brighter version of Nula and Ceridian.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
And not them already knowing the tea about how Bastion is like pussy whipped.
Fact, they were like, oh, but before you, he wasn't interested in doing all of this, and now all of a sudden he's super interested, and Brie has to have the good clothing, and Brie has to have this and this and that, and I was like, y'all,
like,
I was like, really?
And you the one talking about don't reveal our relationship, bitch. You doing that pretty well. Like I don't even need to do anything.
Well, at least she knows they can't keep a secret. They can't hold water. So
that's true.
Yeah.
She can get information from them.
That's true.
Yeah.
She can
get info.
Yes, she can. So they're like leaky faucets. Sebastian also tells Brie, what is it? Oh, it's at this point that he tells her, like, don't tell anybody about our previous relationship. Like, keep that shit under wraps. I want to make sure you're safe. And also gets rid of her scar. Like, hides her scar.
Okay. And she clearly is thinking, oh, he's embarrassed of what I used to do or whatever back in the mortal realm, how she used to clean houses and do thievery stuff and whatever. And in my head, I'm thinking, why are we hiding so much stuff? Why is he glamoring her scar? Why is he telling her, look, you can only tell them your name and where you came from, and that's it? Like, I was like, there's more to this.
Right. His fucking pretense is like, oh, because I don't want people to look at you differently. Why you always lying? I don't trust
Where's
it.
the lie? You know, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was because in her realm, you know, she's known as a thief, and the first thing they say is red hair and a scar on her wrist. So I thought it was because he didn't want her mom to figure out that she was a crook where she came from or something like that. Because she's wanted, and who knows, maybe they know between realms who's wanted. I didn't think too deep into that part.
That makes sense. I just think too deep into everything.
I mean, now that we're putting clues together, I mean, yeah. Now I'm questioning all his intentions.
He's not to be trusted. Oh, at the end of the chapter as well, she's like, she feels bad for having to lie to these people, but she's like, I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that I get this job done. I know we talked about it, but I harp on the fact that I'm like, maybe just break one thread and ask a very, very well detailed, long question.
But then again, will the goblin really give her a very like detailed thing, or will he give her a riddle of some sort?
Well, if she asks a very detailed question, like, for example, you know, where is Jazz being held in exactly what court, and am I able to get into that court undetected and or unharmed and get her out safely? Like, you're gonna have to break that down again.
You know, like, I feel like a really good question to be, like, to start off, now that I'm thinking of it, is, can I trust Sebastian?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I think at the very least, she should be able to know, she should want to know that to see, you know, where her loyalty should lie, or just her life, because she's under his roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And she already feels betrayed by the lie that he told her. So why not ask, and I actually trust him? Or be like, who can I trust, Sebastian or Finn? And then let the fucking goblin say, you know, stay with the High Lord. and all will be fixed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's basically where we end for this episode. Do you guys have any other predictions that we didn't already lay out thoroughly?
I do think that her sister might be alive.
Okay.
I just don't know for how long.
Yeah, same. I feel
Yeah.
like she's gonna
Yeah.
get to her at the end of the book, and she's gonna be like dead.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then we also don't know what the other 2 artifacts are. And we only know right now that it's the mirror because he did say he wasn't going to tell her what the other stuff was until that. So we don't even know how the stories are going to change the dynamics depending on what the item is. How hard is it to get it? Who has it? You know, all these things. So I feel like hopefully in the next couple chapters we can figure out where we need to pivot.
Yeah.
We don't have much to go off right now.
Yeah. I was just thinking about this, the wardrobe in one of the queen's rooms. I remember King Morbius being like, "Oh no, that portal's been disabled." And laughing about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why is he laughing about it? And we also wondered like why it's been kept open for so long. What if he like activated it just for that day for Brie to get through?
How would he have that kind of
Girl, I don't know.
Finn, I don't know. How would he have that kind of access? Because him and Finn aren't on good terms.
I have no idea. Unless he has like spies in the Sealy court.
I mean, yeah, they're the courts are notorious for spies, so I can see that happening. But who is the spy?
The blonde humans, her handmaidens, because you would never suspect it.
Not them. They too giggly.
That's why you would never suspect it.
That could be a front.
Yeah.
And they could be evil as shit.
Or they could be
glamored.
Back to King Morbius.
But that's the only thing I have. It's pretty weak.
I want to like just read more and try to figure stuff out. Because like I said, it's like she's giving things to us slowly. Like to put together for the puzzle. And it's just interesting to me.
Yeah, it's like the story is moving fast paced, but the information is coming a little bit more slowly. And I'm like,
yes.
But it's enough where you can start putting theories together, which is what I like.
Yeah.
So breadcrumbs, I'm gonna make a whole fucking cookie, bitch. So the next chapters that we are going to read for the next episode are chapters 11 through 15.
Yay! So I'd like to say thank you guys for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Stay tuned for next week for our following episode. And always stay YA at heart. Bye.
Bye.